At 4 a.m., the USS Truman was jolted from calm into chaos. The ship, which had been quietly slicing through the dark waters of the Atlantic, was suddenly thrust into the heart of a nightmare scenario. For hours, the crew had been on routine watch, the hum of machinery and the gentle roll of the sea their only companions. But in an instant, everything changed. Alarms blared across the ship, their shrill cries echoing through every steel corridor and compartment. Red lights flashed urgently, painting the faces of sailors with an ominous glow. The sound of sirens was deafening, a signal that every second now counted. Sailors rushed to their battle stations, boots pounding against metal decks as they navigated the maze-like passageways. Each crew member moved with a sense of purpose, adrenaline surging as they donned their gear and prepared for the unknown. The urgency of their movements echoed through the corridors, a testament to their training and discipline. The vessel, a symbol of American naval power, now faced a sudden, high-stakes threat. The Truman, once a beacon of security, was now a target, isolated in the vast expanse of the ocean. The darkness outside was pierced only by distant flashes, evidence that the attack was already underway. The attack was swift, leaving no time for hesitation. Missiles streaked across the night sky, their trails illuminating the darkness for brief, terrifying moments. The crew had trained for this, but the reality was far more intense than any drill. In the command center, officers issued orders with precision, their voices calm but urgent. The crew responded with practiced efficiency, fingers flying over consoles as they tracked incoming threats and coordinated the ship's defenses. Every action was critical, every decision a matter of life and death. The Truman was under siege by a barrage of enemy missiles, anticipated in drills, but never truly expected. The sky above the carrier was alive with streaks of light as defensive systems sprang into action, intercepting some threats but not all. The crew braced for impact, knowing that even a single missile could spell disaster. As the first wave approached, the enormity of the situation became clear. The ship's survival depended not just on its advanced technology but on the training, resolve, and courage of every sailor aboard. Each heartbeat felt like an eternity as they waited for the outcome, united by a single purpose: to defend their ship and each other. This was not just a test of technology, but of courage under fire. In these critical moments, the true strength of the Truman was revealed, not in its steel hull or powerful weapons, but in the determination and unity of its crew, standing together against the storm. The attack was relentless, a calculated barrage of missiles and drones, unleashed with chilling precision. In the darkness, the sky lit up with streaks of fire as wave after wave of enemy projectiles closed in on the USS Truman. The air was thick with tension, every second stretching as the crew braced for impact, knowing that the next moment could bring devastation. This was not a random assault, but a meticulously coordinated strike designed to overwhelm the Truman's formidable defenses. The enemy had studied their target, launching a mix of high-speed missiles and agile drones, each programmed to exploit any gap in the ship's armor or electronic shield. Dozens of projectiles filled the night sky, arcing toward the ship in a deadly ballet. Each missile, each drone represented a potential disaster. A single failure in the defense could mean catastrophic damage to the vessel and its crew. The enemy's advanced weaponry was state-of-the-art, exploiting every possible weakness. Some drones flew low, skimming the waves to avoid radar, while others soared high, coordinating their attack with the incoming missiles. The Truman was under siege from every direction, but the crew was ready. Years of rigorous training and countless drills had prepared them for this very moment. Every sailor knew their role, every officer trusted their team. The Truman's crew moved with practiced efficiency, their nerves steeled by experience and discipline. Radar systems scanned the skies and seas, tracking each incoming threat with pinpoint accuracy. Sailors manned their stations, eyes fixed on screens, hands poised over controls. Countermeasures were launched in rapid succession: flares, chaff, and interceptor missiles, each one a desperate attempt to intercept the onslaught before it could reach the ship. The decks buzzed with coordinated action, every missile and drone a test of the crew's resolve. Orders were shouted, alarms blared, and the ship's defenses roared to life. In the chaos, the crew's training took over, transforming fear into focus. Despite the sophistication and ferocity of the assault, the Truman's personnel worked tirelessly, their dedication unwavering. Fatigue and adrenaline mingled as they fought to protect their ship and each other, refusing to yield even as the attack intensified. Each second was a battle, but the crew rose to the occasion. In the face of overwhelming odds, their courage and determination became the ship's greatest defense, turning the tide of the attack and proving the true strength of the Truman's crew. The USS Truman's advanced defense system sprang into action as the attack intensified. The Aegis combat system tracked incoming threats with pinpoint accuracy, plotting intercepts in real time. Crew members launched countermeasures in a seamless display of coordination. The Phalanx close-in weapon system, nicknamed R2D2, provided a rapid-fire last line of defense. As missiles closed in, the CIWS unleashed a torrent of projectiles, neutralizing threats at the last moment. The crew's calm professionalism and the ship's technology proved critical. The Truman's defenses held, a testament to both design and discipline. As the smoke cleared, the crew assessed the aftermath. The attack had left scars, scorched sections, scattered debris, and strained systems. Yet amidst the chaos, stories of heroism emerged, sailors risking their lives for their ship and each other. The crew worked urgently to repair damage, their resilience on full display. Morale remained high, fueled by the knowledge they had faced a formidable foe and prevailed. Leadership commended the crew's bravery and professionalism. The attack was a stern test, but the Truman's personnel proved their mettle. The ship, though battered, stood as a symbol of American resolve. In the wake of the attack, the United States responded with swift, decisive force. Within hours, American airstrikes targeted enemy missile sites and command centers, crippling their ability to strike again. The operation showcased the military's reach and readiness, sending a clear message: aggression would be met with overwhelming power. Pentagon statements underscored America's resolve to defend its interests. The world watched as the U.S. restored stability and deterred further attacks. The retaliation was both military and strategic, aimed at preventing escalation. The operation succeeded, achieving its objectives and reinforcing American dominance. The events underscored the volatile nature of modern warfare. The attack on the Truman was not an isolated incident, but rather a flashpoint in a much broader and increasingly volatile conflict unfolding in the Red Sea. This region, long known as a crossroads of commerce and culture, had become a simmering cauldron of tension, where the interests of global powers collided with local grievances and ambitions. The waters, once bustling with peaceful trade, now echoed with the constant hum of military activity and the ever-present threat of escalation. The United States found itself engaged in a prolonged and complex campaign against the Houthi rebels, a group whose capabilities and confidence had grown dramatically in recent years. Emboldened by external support, and driven by a mix of ideology and strategy, the Houthis launched increasingly sophisticated attacks, challenging the U.S. Navy's dominance in these critical waters. American warships patrolled the sea day and night, their crews on constant alert, as the threat of missile strikes and drone attacks loomed ever larger. Iran's involvement added a dangerous new dimension to the conflict. Through covert shipments and clandestine networks, Tehran supplied the Houthis with advanced weaponry, missiles, drones, and sophisticated electronics, transforming the rebels from a local insurgency into a formidable regional force. Intelligence reports traced the flow of arms from Iranian ports to remote desert outposts, fueling a shadow war that threatened to spill over into open confrontation. The Red Sea's strategic importance could not be overstated. As one of the world's busiest maritime corridors, it serves as a vital artery for global trade, linking Europe, Asia, and Africa. Every engagement, every skirmish carried enormous stakes, not just for the nations directly involved, but for the stability of international commerce and the security of energy supplies. The world watched anxiously as container ships navigated these perilous waters, their passage now shadowed by the specter of conflict. The attack on the Truman was a stark reminder of the volatility and complexity that defined the region. Damage control teams raced to contain the fallout, while commanders coordinated urgent responses from the bridge and the command center. Each incident tested the resilience and adaptability of U.S. forces, forcing them to confront new threats in real time and under immense pressure. In the midst of military operations, the United States and its allies worked tirelessly to balance force with diplomacy. High-level meetings and joint press conferences underscored the importance of international cooperation, as leaders sought to prevent the conflict from spiraling out of control. Behind closed doors, diplomats negotiated fragile agreements, hoping to maintain a semblance of stability in an increasingly unpredictable environment. The Red Sea campaign became a microcosm of global rivalries and alliances, where the ambitions of regional powers intersected with the interests of the world's great nations. Naval fleets from across the globe converged on the region, each representing a different set of priorities and concerns. The delicate balance of power was constantly in flux, shaped by shifting alliances and the ever-present risk of miscalculation. In this high-stakes environment, vigilance and preparedness became more crucial than ever. Sailors stood watch through long, tense nights, radar operators scanned for threats, and missile defense crews remained on constant alert. The lessons of the Red Sea campaign would echo far beyond its waters, shaping the strategies and doctrines of navies and nations for years to come. The attack and U.S. response sent shockwaves worldwide, prompting a range of reactions. Allies expressed solidarity, recognizing the shared challenge of securing volatile regions. The incident raised concerns about escalation, with calls for restraint and dialogue. International organizations condemned the attack, urging peaceful resolution and respect for maritime law. The security of global trade routes became a renewed focus. The Truman incident sparked dialogue on regional security and the need for cooperation. Diplomacy and military readiness were both emphasized in the aftermath. The events highlighted the complexities of modern geopolitics. The attack forced a re-evaluation of aircraft carrier strategy and vulnerabilities. It exposed the need for innovation in tactics and technology to counter advanced threats. The Truman's defense was effective, but gaps remained, prompting new investments in electronic warfare and unmanned systems. The Navy began reassessing how carriers are deployed and protected. Adaptability and innovation became central to maintaining naval superiority. The incident shaped future doctrine and investments. The Truman's ordeal marked a turning point in naval warfare thinking. The Truman attack left a lasting mark on public perception and military resolve. Stories of bravery inspired national pride and reinforced support for the armed forces. The incident highlighted the sacrifices of those in uniform and the importance of a capable defense. It became a rallying point for unity and determination. The military used the lessons learned to refine strategies and drive innovation. Readiness and adaptability were underscored as essential qualities. The attack was more than a battle, it was a defining moment for modern warfare. The Truman's legacy became one of resilience and strength in uncertainty.